Someone should help us take.
Alrighty, welcome back. It's the Lagos Talks 91.3 FM, and it's the entertainment hub here. And of course, with your favorite Tayo.
The Gij.
Fabulous Joy, Ife, and Jane. And then we promised you were going to bring two handsome men to the studio to join us today. And
so you're trying to say, wait, I'm not handsome or what?
Ife,
yes,
please.
That's exactly what she's saying.
You're not even close to. Sorry.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, so and I have my two handsome men in the studio here with us today, and they'll be joining us on this conversation. Yeah, we've been talking about a movie that has been making the rounds on social media. Yep. It's the hottest movie right now. I mean, I saw it with my two naked eyes.
Fire.
With my two naked eyes and with my two covered eyes, my glasses, and it was really, really, really nice. I mean, that movie is everything, and I think it's something that everybody should watch. But I'm not going to talk about it right now until we hear from them.
Yeah. So from our right, we have the director of the movie, Taiwo Egunjobi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very
I
much.
would know more than your surname.
I don't think you did a lot of it.
I'm a Yoruba boy now. I know how to pronounce.
I mean, the word is Egunjobi.
Okay,
Egunjobi.
I know I'm a Yoruba boy. See, I know what I'm saying because I know that name. You didn't sound like something that you pronounce properly.
Right.
Okay,
and on the left we have Tayo Faniran.
Tayo Faniran.
You all are going to make my father disown me.
I pray your dad is listening to this conversation.
Just you don't have to pronounce your name. I said, Dad, I'm sorry, man.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So Tayo is actually is my favorite cast in the movie. Sabah.
The big Sabs.
Yeah, exactly, the big Sabs. I mean, he bodied the role so well.
Absolutely.
Like, it was very personal. So let's start from the beginning. What inspired you? I mean, I'm talking to the director right now. What inspired you to
Inspired
the storyline, especially the Fire and the Moth? What was this based on? Like, was it a real life experience or was it just entirely fictional?
Thank you very much. I think it was a number of different things. First of all, big ups to the studio Ninja who backed this project. For me, it was a couple of things. I'd always been interested in the idea of smuggling. It's been such a big story in our in the crime news beat, where smuggling has become such a big part of our culture. So I've always been interested in that particular topic line. And then also our culture, the bronzes, the Ife bronzes, the artifacts.
Right.
I've always been someone who cares a lot about those things. I was trained by Tunde Kelani, and it's one of the things that he puts in all of us, that interest in Yoruba culture and artifacts, So these things combined, for me in my mind, and I started coming up with these ideas on, somebody dealing with things like that, combining these two things. And of course, I've always also loved that Yoruba adage that says that Afokbino, yeah,
Can you translate for us?
Yeah, basically means that the moth that is dancing around the lamp is going to kill itself because it's going to burn. But it keeps on going to the fire. So that particular adage has always been interesting to me as something to write the story around. So really, those were the inspirations that birthed Fire and the Moth.
The movie. Okay, so like the title alone, the Fire and the Moth, is symbolic. Yeah, so like what is that the meaning behind the title, the Fire and the Moth?
Yeah, that's basically it. It's Afokbino is moth in Yoruba.
This guy.
We'll take him to Ibadan.
Don't judge me. Yeah. So basically, that's what I said before. It's that's the symbolism. It's fire and the moth. The moth keeps dancing around the fire. It keeps coming to it. It's like going to something that's going to destroy you, but you're still drawn to it, which in many ways describes the relationships that many of the characters in the film have.
I saw that.
With
Sabah,
themselves,
especially Sabah.
They are involved in something really, really dangerous, but there is something that pushes them. There's something that brings them to that fire, and then that's really where that title comes from.
In this case, what would you say it's the thing that's pushing them? The money?
It's to to what?
Yes, I think Sabah should answer that.
Sabah only. Okay.
What did you say?
Because it was
What I say in this case now,
Yes.
from the movie, what was pushing you? What do you think would you say was pushing you to that fire?
The moment I say that, I've told people half of the story already. So
Okay, well, that's true.
I'll
That's
keep
true.
that for when people go to see the film. But Sabah is a very ambitious person, very passionate person, very goal-driven person. There's this slogan that I and director, kept on repeating when we were watching at the screening. We kept on saying, always guiding. That street stuff when you don't. Always, the guy was, like on his toes throughout. It's a movie that it's different. It's different. It's the story is original. The production, you saw the color grading. The picture quality.
Yeah.
The sound. The sound, you could hear the sound of leaves. You know what I'm saying? Like even the birds in the forest. You get what I'm saying? Like that film, when I was watching it, I was watching myself and I was anxious and nervous at the same time. But it felt like I was watching an international film, a Hollywood film.
I agree.
It's too badass. Yeah, and I can't wait for it to come out and for people to see it, and then they would agree with us. Yeah.
Okay, so the cast is quite strong and very believable. We can already see that from Tayo body and Sabah and everything. So how did you go about selecting the actors, and what qualities were you specifically looking for?
Okay, thank you.
Process?
I work with the studio, and but the studio is always very kind to let me choose the types of people I want to work with. So when I was writing Sabah, when we were writing Sabah, myself and Isaac, we knew it was going to be a physically demanding role. But we also needed somebody who wasn't a Nollywood fine boy in that sense. We didn't want someone who was a cliched. Without sounding, we didn't want someone that was just a typical fine boy.
I'm not a fine boy. I'm a hunk.
Yeah, so he's handsome, but he's not a conventional TV sweet boy. He's an ad man. So, and I wanted someone that had that vibe about them, someone that could really carry the film, because the lead of your film is everything. That person brings the brand your film has. So you want somebody that feels lived in, someone that feels real, and is real. I watched him in Gangs of Lagos. He was one of my favorite actors, characters, because he was so real. He wasn't trying to be anybody. He was himself.
He was himself. Yeah.
And that was so nice for us to do. So we got him to come in, and then Jimmy John Louis is one of the most respected black actors. So he was always looking at the studio to see whatever the studio was going to offer him. He wanted to work in Africa. I always want to work in Africa, and so he was perfect with that. Ini, very strong.
Oh my girl, my girl.
Also the same thing. I also didn't want to go for a typical Nollywood fine girl. I want to say somebody who had a big dramatic range.
Yeah, she has.
Someone that you can play city girl, but you can also be a village girl. You can do both things well.
Yeah, she did that.
So that was the logic. People that hadn't done too many things, but we are very selective about the things they do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I must say you had a good pick, to be honest.
You have a good cast.
I can't even lie. Like anybody that character. The part I loved the most was when she tried to outsmart Sabah.
Okay, Sarah. So your character is caught in a pretty intense, high stakes situation.
Yeah.
How did you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally to carry that kind of weight on screen?
All right, so first of all, one thing about me is that I'm spiritual about everything that I do. I always weigh whatever that I get involved in from a spiritual point of view. All right. So when the story came, you see, I have a tattoo of the artifact here, the bronze head. On my
Was
head.
This
I
after
actually did
or
it
before?
after the film.
Oh,
After the film,
really?
but for the people who have followed me, for long, they know that I've always had stuff to do with Oduduwa. I actually had a brand when I was in South Africa called Oduduwa Classics, where I was doing a campaign on Say No to Xenophobia, and this same Odudua head, was my logo,
Okay.
So when I saw that first attracted me. Secondly, it's also meant to me that this is deep. All right, we have different types of projects. There are some that are commercial, that you want to do and let people know me, let people see me. But then there are some jobs that are projects. These are Oscar-worthy projects. Deep projects that if you're a musician and you want to win Grammy, there's a different type of music for Grammy and the one for the dance floor. So that was what I saw, and also because the project came from Nemzia, So Nemzia is a big name. I saw what they did with Breath of Life and all of that. So I'm like, okay, this is their next biggest thing they want to do. Also, my position in the whole story made me to realize the type of responsibility that they've put on me. Now, can you imagine playing a lead in a film where you have Jimmy John Louis, Inidima, and Olarotimi Fakunle and William Benson. These are deep actors, these are deep actors, thespians, people who went to school to study theater arts, all right? And these are the people that I'm supposed to, be in a film with, and I'm the lead guy. So I already understood the responsibility that came, and I was prepared for whatever would come my way for me to deliver that role. And I'm happy that today I can beat my chest. This is my director. He beats his chest for me, but he knows I can beat my chest as loud as that gorilla, that silverback gorilla.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I killed it. You get what I'm saying? I murdered it. People have seen me in big projects, Gangs of Lagos, Adao Modadi, I have Labake Lododo in the cinema, I have Family Brewer in the cinema. I've given the industry and the fans, people, different genres of movies to consume, But I'm telling you, at this point, this is the one, my Harvard, university worthy project. You get what I'm saying? Is the Fire, the Oscar worthy project, the project that I can take to anywhere in the world to compete at any stage is this project, the Fire and the Moth. And please, guys, I want you all to support us. Just go and see it. Organically, you will fall in love from the first picture.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had to describe the movie, the Fire and the Moth, in 3 words, how are you going to describe it in 3 words?
Magnificent.
Okay.
Different.
Okay.
Deep.
Deep.
Actually,
Okay.
deep.
How about you, Taiwo?
I'll say fire.
Of course.
I'll say heritage.
Mm.
And I'll say violence.
Violence.
True.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that one. Thank you for this conversation. But before we go, finally, we know that the AVCA, the just concluded AVCA, a lot of people won different categories, and so we would like to hear from you. Tell us, who do you think walked away with an award that they didn't quite deserve?
Okay, so we came here to sell.
You sold, though.
What?
You sold.
Hold on. We came here to sell our project. We came here to sell Nollywood. We came here to make friends with the industry people. And then you guys want to ruin it with this question. I will not say.
Just asking for your honest opinion.
For me, my opinion is that it's one of the. It was a very great award show.
Right.
Lots of. But there's no award show without controversy.
Right.
And that just shows you how strong the year was. That people will be debating this and that. Almost every category there, you could always pick out 3 or 4 people that could have won. And that's the beauty of Nollywood. There's a time when you could always just say, this is the person that will win.
Exactly.
But we've grown to a point where we can say 3-4 people had very strong performances or very strong films, and they could have won. So I think it's still a plus. It would be unfair to tell anybody that you don't deserve to win. I think everyone deserves to win something at some point. So that's just
actually I didn't even think of I didn't think of anybody that won
that didn't deserve
to win. So that's it.
Yeah. All right, so hopefully Fire and the Moth will be taking one home next year.
Why are you smiling?
Definitely.
You evaded the question a little.
Let me tell you something about the Fire and the Moth. àwọn Yorùbá ní tí ogun ẹni bá dá ni lójú àfi gbárí ni, you know.
Translate, please.
The fire and the moth. Ó dá mi lójú, you know, it means that when you are sure of your charm, use it to hit your head, you know. That's how, you know, how brave, how confident you are in your charm. So the fire and the moth. I mean, come on, I've done Gangs of Lagos. Do you know I have Anikulapo coming. I have with the of blessed memory, bro Dimeji Ajibola that did Shantytown. I have with him Blood and Rage. You get what I'm saying? I have big titles coming. But when I'm telling you that the Fire and the Moth is in a different class, it's in a different class. It's a different genre. You get what I'm saying? You know, like it's a badass film that the whole of the industry should watch and see that, okay, you know, even though we're doing commercials, you know, a lot, we still need to be dropping some Bangkok B kind of films like the Fire and the Moth. And so about awards, we'll leave it in the hands of God, But I can assure you that the Fire and the Moth will not only win awards on the continent, but even outside of the continent, by the grace of God.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I like that you believe in God. At least you mentioned God.
No choice.
Okay, so let's take this away from like movie. I want to ask you, what is your craziest Lagos experience?
Well, I think it's not very. I mean, I just moved to Lagos.
Oh, okay.
IJGB. I just go back.
No. I'm an Ibadan boy to the core.
Oh, okay.
So, but I think I don't had any crazy. I mean, I've had experiences. I mean, I remember you know, I didn't know Lagos had 2 different names for some areas. Mosholashi. So I was going to one Mosholashi somewhere.
Oh, and where's a different Moshala?
Around 12. 1 a.m.
midnight.
You know.
Sorry.
I have to give a taxi man all of the money on my pockets. Just take me
to the
correct everything on my hand. Everything I had on me. You just take me there. Crazy experience.
How about you, Tayo?
So you see, for me, I would say that Lagos is a naturally crazy place. Right from when I was a kid, I've always known Lagos to be a crazy place, but the craziness I will love. You know, Lagos is the most urbanized city in the country, and we should actually give them a lot of kudos because Lagos is the only, city and state that accommodates entertainment. That gives support to entertainment and everything.
Totally.
Other governors of other states, they're just looking. You know what I'm saying?
It's just boring out there.
This film was filmed in my state, in Ibadan. This big international film was filmed in Ibadan, or your state, all right? Breath of Life was filmed in Ibadan. Wow. A lot of all the big titles in the industry right now are happening in Oyo State, all right? So this is a sign for the states to jump on it and know that we have a major stake in the entertainment industry, and we should take advantage of that. You know, how do you call your sons like us? You know, me, Tayo Faniran, Taiwo Egunjobi. You get what I'm saying? We have the passion, we have the skills, we have the experience, we have the resources, we have the network. You know, just give us the backing. That's all. You get what I'm saying? So big shout out to Lagos State government for that. For accommodating us. This is our LA, man, and I'm proud of Lagos.
100%.
So all the craziness, bring it. I get my own.
Craziness. Okay, last question, just to throw you guys off guard. Do you think a fish in water is wet or dry? Is a fish in water wet or dry? Answer the question.
Director.
I mean, when a fish is in the water, I mean, its condition is worse than being wet. You know, it's entirely submerged in
so is
liquid.
It wet or is it dry?
So So I wouldn't. I mean, a fish in water. A fish in water is not wet.
So it's dry.
It's not dry.
Okay, so it's wet. Wait, a fish outside of water. Does it get wet?
Or is it dry? I'm
let me
asking the question.
Let me answer the question.
Asking the question.
I mean the skin.
The way you are defining it, you are trying to create a situation where wet and dry are clearly opposite, or the only water
or that
continuum.
The only conditions
the continuum continues. If you submerge the fish in water, it's worse than being wet. It's entirely submerged in water. That's a higher degree than being wet.
Why are we talking about wetness on Saturday? I mean, come on, man.
What the fuck of God? Well, I got them.
Holy Ghost fire. What was that
I
there
will not
for?
accept that answer. I mean, it was
that
a good
wet or
attempt.
dry?
Well, I asked if it was wet or dry.
Let's choose wet. Everybody loves wet. I mean, who wants to eat dry fish?
Oh,
I choose wet. Are you happy now?
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
it's dry. You guys.
Do you like dry, bro? You like dry?
No, I love it wet.
Okay, I think I'm out of the studio already.
Guys, I'm actually Pisces, so I'm a fish.
Pisces too.
So I must choose wet.
So you're so you're wet.
So you're wet.
And I submerge,
I'm not falling again.
I get submerged in the water.
You guys, I'm lost. I'm a Capricorn, please. I'm a goat. Thank you.
Oh, that's why you're stubborn.
Actually, just
We need to round this up because it's becoming.
I know, wet and dry, wet. I mean, nah, I'm not here. Thank you very much, guys, for coming into the studio today. I think for me, one thing that stood out to me in that movie is the nature. I love where I saw the field. There was a part that there was a field, and then you could see like animals, like cows on the hill, and oh my god, it was really beautiful. I love that part, the sun, the everything, just it was really natural and very relatable, and I love it. So thank you very much for giving us that. We hope to see more work from you.
Thank you.
We hope to see more work from you. I think that's we hope to see you. I mean, this particular movie gets into AVCA. I mean, international recognitions as well, not just even Nigerian recognition. I mean, not just Africa, international as well. So, and I know you guys will do well. Thank you very much again for coming.
The movie is out now.
It's not out yet. We'll have a release date. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
But but we announced even at the screening.
And the was
that has been shifted.
Okay.
So the release will be announced. Release will be announced soon. So just keep watching out for it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
I hope we'll get free tickets for our listeners, though.
What did you say?
I hope we'll get free tickets
for you. Watch it on your screen.
Now you watch it on our screen. Okay, so it's going. Wait. You're saying not going to be on. Not going to be in the cinema.
I think it's on Prime.
So what ticket?
I don't understand. I may be goat. Now you be Pisces. Now you be fish. Now you be parapass.
No chop meal.
Before you go, can you share your social media account with our listeners?
Well, my social media account is just my name at Taiwo Egunjobi.
Okay, no
on
underscore.
Instagram, no underscore. On Twitter is at Tayo_Egunjobi.
Okay. Tai, is it TAI?
Yeah, TAI.
Okay.
TAI.
No Snapchat, no.
I don't remember my usernames on those things.
How about you, Tayo?
Yeah, so I'm Tayo Faniran everywhere. Instagram at Tayo Faniran. Facebook Tayo Faniran, Twitter Tayo Faniran, TikTok Tayo Faniran. Tayo Faniran everywhere.
There's only one.
Thank you, my bro.
Thank you very much. With no any further ado, we'll say thank you very much. I will bring this to a wrap.
Thank you.